Good morning, everyone. Next, we have is the Lassa fever. We have heard about so many things, but mostly we do not. This Lassa fever is very much uncommon. What is Lassa? This Lassa is nothing but Lassa virus. It's a virus which has been named after a place. It's a town in Nigeria. Why Nigeria? Because the first case of this Lassa fever, of this Lassa virus was discovered in Nigeria in the year 1969. And recently, you can see in UK, 1 out of 3 persons have been diagnosed with this Lassa fever. And this fever now you can find primarily in the West African places, West African countries. You can see these are the places, West African places where Lassa is very much prevalent. Now, how is this virus spread from one place to the another? The important thing about this virus is that this virus is spread by rats. Very, very important. And this is the reason for which when a rat is moving from one place to the another, and if I say this West African countries, right? This Africa or the West Africa, they are not so rich countries. So you cannot imagine that they will be having infrastructures and facilities like those UK and US people, right? Even in our home in India, even we have rats. We face the problem of rats. So they will us based on the rats because they do not have this proper infrastructure or proper kind of management in their homes. Right. And this is why if they're not being able to manage this rat issue, then definitely there will be the problem. And if you see fever, Lassa fever, of course, there will be fever if this virus attacks on you, right? Fever, weakness, fatigue, nausea, right? This kind of symptoms will definitely be there. But apart from that, the most complicated symptom is that if this virus enters your body to such an extent that you are not being treated or being detected with it, if you are ignoring it, it will result into deafness. Very, very important. This Lassa fever can result into deafness. Therefore, it's very much important that we should stay out of the rats. If you want to prevent Lassa fever, then please you can avoid contact with the rats. Antonov and 2025, Ria. What is it? So it's basically called as an aviation wonder. Why aviation wonder? Because it's the largest cargo aircraft, world's largest cargo aircraft, right? And very much unfortunate that in this ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict, this wonder, aviation wonder has been destroyed. Okay, it's also in its common name, it's also called as MRIA. You can see it has 32 wheel landing gear. Okay, so what kind of things it has done? It has certain significance from the perspective of India as well. It made a maiden landing in India when? In the year 2016. Okay, in the year 2016 at Hyderabad's Samshabad airport while a route to Perth to deliver this much of power generator to a mine to Australia. From Paraguay to Australia, when this cargo was moving in, it took a kind of rest, you can say. It took a kind of landing in India as well. Not only that, also this particular MRIA has also taken a big role during the COVID-19. You can see lots of medicines, laboratory kits, mask, PPE kits, personal protective equipments, right? So all these things have been transferred across Europe, Canada, from Europe and Canada to Africa. From all these places to Africa, all these things have been transported. Also, Transportation of Puma helicopters have also been done with the help of this MRIA, but unfortunately now it's no more. And I don't know what's the fate of this world, but I mean, this ongoing conflict we cannot predict, but everything is shattering, and we don't know if we are proceeding towards another third world war, right? Anyway, moving back. Cerebral palsy. Why was it in news? Okay, tell me one thing. Do you know the name of the Microsoft CEO? It's Satya Nadella, right? His child, Zain Nadella. Recently, there was his death because he was suffering from cerebral palsy, and of course, it led to his death. We're not concerned about Satya Nadella nor about Zain Nadella, but we are concerned about this particular disease. What is cerebral palsy? Cerebra, it's a part of the brain. So what happens during this? This particular disease is a result in which there is lack of oxygen in the brain during the time of development and during the time of the birth of the infant. Are you being able to understand what the CP means? Lack of oxygen during the time of birth, okay, during the time of birth, and of course this is a gradual process. It's not that during the time of birth the child will born without oxygen. It's not that. If it's so, then that particular infant can be provided with oxygen during that period, right? But when the child was in the womb, in the mother's womb, it was getting affected because of deficit of oxygen, right? Why it happens? Because basically what happens, it happens because of some kind of maternal infections, okay, traumatic head injury, genetic mutations, bleeding in the brain, infections, fatal stroke. You can see these are some kind of the things that are happening that can be seen in case of the CP. And the major symptom, if you see, no control over the muscle, no control over the limb, okay? There is no control. Muscles are, we can make a control the way we want to move, but if you are suffering from CP, then this will be lost. So you need to remember about cerebral palsy.